CALIFE. So that's the first service that we are going to talk about today. So what CALIFE does is that it produces a personalized, downloadable environmental certificate for any address in Europe for free. So obviously, if you didn't do this till now, please go run to the service and get your certificate. It's just basically centered around your home or any address, obviously, you wish to analyze. You enter the address, and then you have a full PDF document that describes different dimensions of the environment around this address and also the future climate risk. What it assesses is health related to air quality versus EU thresholds, healthcare infrastructure proximity, water stress in the area, and also vegetation health, green spaces, so biodiversity, land, and so on. Transportation, long-distance accessibility, sustainable local mobility, and finally weather and climate, with obviously a view about the extreme climate events that can happen in the 10 following years. And for weather, there's also the analysis of urban heat islands. That is something that might be of interest if you're living like us in Southern Europe now. We are suffering a little bit from heat, so we understand if this is something that is normal, not normal, what the situation will be in the future, and so on. This application and the service has proven useful for different ends, I would say, in addition to obviously the information that it provides on for each one of us regarding the place where we live or the place where we work. Is that it's very helpful for the real estate professionals that use this type of certificate to assess the price of a house and to help in the selling process, for example. It also helps citizens get involved in the local life. This way you have a critical view of the programs, for example, in case of local elections, of who's doing better work when it comes to the environment and protection of the environment, and would they actually act on the parameters of interest in this in the area where you live. Quality of life at work, obviously, and then know your environment, where you live, where you do your hobbies, for example, or for any other purpose, even for your relatives and close ones. The data that is used here, we can split it into different categories and so on, but we've chosen this type of representation to say, okay, there is an Earth observation part because there is a lot of things that are extracted directly from Earth observation data. There are also the climate models, obviously with the DestinE climate digital twin data sets. And for biodiversity, for example, there is a number of data sets that are of interest, including also the Water Research Institute aqueducts for the water stress part. The user journey is quite simple for this service. Is that first you sign in, you have a free Destination Earth account, then you get into the screen, you pick the address, then you submit your request. So all of this takes less than 1 minute. Processing takes about 25 minutes, and then you have your report, 23 pages PDF with recommendations, local regulation, and so on, and many, many interesting features and views of the location. Something technically very interesting is that nothing is prepared in advance. The service is available across Europe, but once you submit your query or where you enter the address, we do the geocoding, so we get the coordinates. Then we pull all the data from using the DESP platform. We pull all the data from the different catalogs. So you've seen in the earlier slide that we have more than 15 data sets. So everything is done on the fly. Finally, the indicators are calculated using these data sources, the scoring, and then we create the PDF and we provide you with the report. This is quite interesting also in a world where we do not talk about this that much, while it's very important. From a green IT perspective, CALIFE is quite a feat, I would say. It's quite advanced because of this on-the-fly processing and everything. That nothing is stored in advance. It's just the algorithms that sit somewhere, just waiting for the requests to be made, and then everything is done on the fly. The certificates reveal many aspects on an address. Here, for example, that's an example of Austria Center. So we can see that everything's fine, I would say, when it comes to transport, water, green spaces. But then there is this risk for heat vulnerability, for example. There is also, for example, a risk when it comes to air quality in certain periods of the year and so on. And all of these things are things that you can extract very easily from the certificate. Climate projections are also something that is quite key. So here, for example, you can see the types of KPIs that are provided by the CALIFE certificate, where you have indications of how many additional drought days you will have per year, hot days, and heavy rain days, for example. In a nutshell, CALIFE is providing a service that is quite adapted to the general public. So everything that is provided can be digested by the general public. The certificate is nice to read and informative. And then it builds on the strong parts of Destination Earth program. It's really enabled by Destination Earth. Without Destination Earth, the Destination Earth program, I think driving a product like CALIFE, a service like CALIFE, is quite complex. First, from the data source side, and this dynamic pulling of the data, but there is also the DestinE specific data sets like the climate DT that is quite key to generate the certificate at the right resolution for the end users. But also there is the DES platform functionalities like the IAM, the monitoring, therefore the authentication, the monitoring service, the runtime platform, obviously, and the most importantly, I would say the help desk in case anyone has an issue with the service, we can provide them support quite quickly. Just some quick numbers that were set in June 2026. So yeah, we have more than 1,000 users that are using CALIFE today. A high number of requested reports and so on. Yeah, and some KPIs on service availability that are quite good and useful. If you didn't do so yet, just go to there and or keep the address, keep on looking at the presentation, and then after we finish the webinar, you can go and generate your report.